You've got to hand it to Ange Postecoglou and Celtic for pulling rabbits out the bag when you get something that no one expects. Celtic have given a 3-year deal to a player that has just he hasn't played in the first team since December the 22nd, 2021. We'll go back to that in a minute. Another Celtic FC news we're going to talk about. There's a couple of stories that I've seen on the media this morning, and I'm going to read them word for word, and you can actually feel the hurt in one of them. So this one, it's in the Scotsman. Just looked at it just for shits and giggles, as it says. Celtic have 3 dead rubber league fixtures to negotiate across 7 days, starting at home to St Mirren. And then it basically goes on. The meaningless nature. This is how they've actually wrote this article. The meaningless nature of Celtic's Premiership running, and owing to the premature conclusion of the title party, wrapped up with 4 games spared. Present manager Ange Postecoglou. Do you feel the hurt in that article? My God. Anyway, that's all it's getting. That's in the Scotsman, right? So, who wrote that? Matthew Elder. That explains it. Anyway, you can actually feel the pain. Looking at the Daily Record, they're talking about Callum McGregor. They've obviously yesterday's news that the Rangers were going to come out fighting for 2 years, and they want to dominate Scottish football within 2 years. And Callum McGregor just says, well, we're just going to keep on what we do. We just do what we do, and we do what we do, and we're rolling. Anyway, moving on. The absolutely bizarre news this morning as Celtic fans is that Joe Hart, Ben Siegrist, must be shaking in their boots this morning because Scott Bain's given a 3-year deal. No one's seen that. Everyone thought he was leaving this summer. His contract was up this year, and everyone thought, I mean, he's hardly played a lot of football at his time at Celtic, and you would think he's at that age as a player where you want to be playing on a regular basis. But the fact he's been given a 3-year deal to be backup keeper, it's I don't know. I think it's goalkeepers are in a strange position because let's face it, there's only one of them can play. And when you're an outfield player, you can maybe get a chance of moving positions and stuff to get in the team. But when a team like Celtic or any big team, they have their main goalkeeper and you have a substitute keeper or two. But the fact that he's been there that long, he's a really good keeper. Scott Bain could walk into any other team, and even Sevco, he could walk into any other team in the Scottish Premiership. He could go down south and walk into any team in the Championship. You know, it is a bizarre one. If this report's right, I'm sure it'll come out in the next day or so. But he's been given. It says that there's been some talk about Ange. Well, everyone thought that Ange Postecoglou was going to look for another goalkeeper, despite Joe Hart's strong performance this year. The fact that Bain his contract was up, but Bain putting pen to paper on a 3-year deal. That's according to the Daily Mail. That's bizarre. But then again, it's maybe the fact that Celtic have thought, you know what, there's no keepers at a decent level that we can go out and get for really good money. Because let's face it, we spent $4.5 million on Barkas, and that was a complete failure. So are Celtic right to keep Scott Bain as a backup keeper? That is the question for you Celtic fans this morning. Is it the correct deal? It probably is. In hindsight, it's not such a crazy deal after all. Because if Celtic are going to have to go out and spend money, they want to spend the maximum amount of money, and there's figures being bandied about 32 million war chest that we've got to spend this summer. To me, that says that the manager wants to go out and get a top level player, outfield player. If you've got a couple of good keepers in the squad, you know what I mean. It's all about what we can achieve going forward on the pitch, and that's where we need to really improve. So I think it's probably right that Scott Bain's got this new deal. It saves us a shitload of cash. He's obviously happy, more than happy at Celtic to sign a 3-year deal with 31-year-old when he's not guaranteed first team football. Says a lot for him as a person as well. Do you know what I mean? It shows that commitment because he's been at Celtic for years now. When does Scott Bain sign anyway? I'll find out later. I think it's just one of those things that it probably is a good piece of. I mean, he could become the third choice keeper, but Siegrist has had the injury. Bain was contracted until next summer, but the fact that he's now signed, everybody thought he was going to go this summer. He signed from Dundee in 2018. He's only played 74 times for Celtic. That's just bizarre, completely bizarre. But anyway, another note, it is Friday, and we play tomorrow, and we're going to win again, and it'll just be a good day. I'm just bumbling on this morning. I'm running late, so I need to go. And on that note, have a great day, Celtic fans all around the world.
Lit. Roll up to the party, roll up, roll up.